Yeah, and as I look at the top 10, name that jumps out there, Bobby Labonte, veteran driver that's just kind of let the race come to him. Now he's got himself literally in a position from 8th. With these rules, you have the opportunity to win from right there. So it'd be interesting to see what moves he makes right here at the end.
You know, Bobby Labonte's always been good here. He's won twice in an IROC car and a Cup car. As we go back to the green flag for the final laps, let's listen in and go full throttle.
Ready. Green flag. Green. Clear all around. Clear by 1. Single file. 6 is a half back. Clear by 1. Single file. Go get some. I'll try to get you some help right here. Single file the whole way.
Be clearing after him.
How many laps left? All clear. Clear by 2. Single file. 1 back to the 2. Half back to the 42. To 1. Back behind him. 3 times. 2 back to the 2. Here. 42 half. Still all good. Clear by 4. Single file. Going to get a push.
Famous last words, we're going to get a push. And that's what we've been seeing all afternoon. There is a look back at the 6th car from Kevin Harvick's onboard camera. That's the 3rd place car. Can Harvick and Reagan do something with Casey Mears? Andy Petrie says Mears has got to play some serious defense. Here comes the high line led by guess who? Tony Stewart in the 33 car. And caution being waved. We have debris on the racetrack in turn 2. And that caution, there is a couple of cars moving very slowly off of turn 2.
Well, Tony Stewart had a run there with Bobby Labonte pushing. We do see the debris here.
It just was up on the racetrack and rolled down as a couple of cars went by. And off the 99 car, you see all the sheet metal damage and the car just trying to make its way back. That's the David Rudiman, Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota. As they are going to black flag the 9 cars that came by that time. Some damage on the back of Casey Kane's car.
All right, pit this lap.
I think that debris
that tail.
was the back bumper off the 9 car. Looks like he's got more debris ready to fly off of it, too. And all these wrecked cars going out on the racetrack. NASCAR is usually pretty strict about letting these guys back on the track or not letting them back on the track when they have flapping debris like that.
And let's show you what happened. That debris you're talking about, it came off the car, was right up in the groove on the racetrack. There you see right in the middle groove, and there's cars running above it and below it. And they're trying to get the caution out before that sheet metal would possibly cut a tire and send guys sailing into the wall.
Yeah, no choice. NASCAR had to throw that yellow. These guys, we had a great finish brewing right there, and we got another one probably coming up, but that debris was definitely warranted a caution.
Okay, here's the procedure. NASCAR attempts to finish this race under green. It will give you 1 green-white checkered flag attempt. Now, if a caution comes out during that green-white checkered, the race can indeed finish under the yellow. But they try not to because of this 100,000-plus fans and the millions watching at home. They want to give them a chance to see what they came here to see, and that's great 3-wide racing on a super speedway like Talladega.
Yeah, but they only get 1 chance to do it. So if it comes out after this one, if another caution comes out, then the race will end.
Great crowd on hand here. Over 100,000 race fans have come to Talladega Superspeedway. We're about 50 miles east of Birmingham, Alabama, 100 miles west of Atlanta, in the central part of the state of Alabama. As we check in our leaders' pits with Alan Bestwick.
Doc, Casey Mears leading this race now, just a couple of laps, 3 laps away from potential victory. And what a revenge victory it would be for this team. The only other track where this particular rules package is used on the circuit is at Daytona. And when they started the season for this team at Daytona, they had 2 crashes in practice, had to bring a 3rd car that they borrowed from their Hendrick Motorsports teammates, Kyle Busch's team, and failed to qualify for that race. Chad Walter, the crew chief for this team, told me they have spent the months since Daytona in February working hard to rebuild their fleet of cars for these restrictor plate tracks. They had none then. They have 3 now. Chad told me on Friday he thought they could win today. They're a couple of laps away from having a shot at that, but boy, they've got some work left to do.
Exactly, Alan. Great story. What a wonderful comeback for that 24 team that worked so hard at Daytona. This was the very first of those 3 cars that they damaged down there. They wanted to get it fixed and bring it back and let it go to victory lane here at Talladega. For more on the 33 car, let's check in with Dave.
And, Jerry, we have talked about his off-track issues this week. How about his on-track issues? That car jumped out of gear again on the previous restart, not the one we just had, but the one before that. So that's a concern. He's got a repaired race car that works pretty well. And one more thing for Tony. He cannot race on the outside. Where did he go on that last restart to pass and go for the win? The outside. He's been telling his crew, one thing I can't do is go high. Well, he gave it a try, and with his teammate Bobby Labonte pushing, he may have a shot on that outside line.
Well, you sometimes got to go where they ain't. That's what I've heard before. So he didn't have anywhere else to go but high.
Yeah, and a man with that much talent right there, I think for these 2 laps, he's going to put it wherever he can go. And they were just starting to come into our picture, and we were just getting ready to talk about, but he had Bobby Labonte on his bumper, and they were coming on that high line. It was going to be very interesting. They laid back just a little bit on the start as we were watching them come off of turn 2, and they were probably 4 or 5 car lengths back, but they really got a pull and a push there, and it was going to be interesting. I would look for that to happen again.
Well, if experience means anything, those 2 guys, both former NASCAR Nextel Cup champions. Bobby Labonte, a former NASCAR Busch Series champion. Bobby Labonte has been very successful here at Talladega. I mentioned he won twice in IROC cars, and of course has won in the Nextel Cup competition here in 1998.
I'm sure that Kevin Harvick doesn't want to see anybody go by, but if it were that 33 and 77, that would probably be the only 2 that he would be happy to watch go by.
Those are his race cars, by the way. He owns both those cars, the Kevin Harvick Incorporated cars, as teammates.
And I guarantee you, if they get up there, he'll block them. He doesn't care who. He doesn't care who owns them.
All right, guys, who's your horse here? 3. You're going to have a green, white, and checkered. What do you think? Can Mears hold him off?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the 24, mainly because I think that I'm not sure that David Reagan has the experience to get with Harvick, and he's going to have a push to get by the 24 car.
Well, I think I'm going with Kevin Harvick, but I think it's going to be one of these other guys like Stewart or those guys or Labonte. They're going to get up there and give him the push to the win. So I see those guys coming up and pushing Harvick.
Yeah, I think Harvick gets a little help from his friends. And then wasn't that a song one time in the Beatles? I got by with a little help from my friends. Let's see if Kevin Harvick can make that Beatles tune come through here in the final laps at Talladega. Casey Mears trying to get his 2nd ever career NASCAR Busch Series win, but he's got the reigning champion right on his bumper as we go green flag for the final laps at Talladega. It'll be white flag this time by. These drivers hard with that right foot all the way down on the floor. Here comes the high line. That's exactly where Tony Stewart couldn't go, but that's where he is gone.
Kevin Harvick tried to make that move that Andy was talking about, but I don't think that he got out there in time. And Tony Stewart now is in the lead with Bobby Labonte pushing him.
Wow, what a move. Up from 5th place, coming off turn 2.
Tony Stewart has gone around the outside to take the lead, and the white flag. It'll be Stewart's first lead today.
But he's got a big lead, and that could be a problem by the time he gets to the backstretch.
Yeah, this could hurt him for sure because he's got almost too much of a lead. With 1 lap to go, these guys are going to have some momentum on him.
And watch the outside. There's a 60 car of Carl Edwards, the points leader. Stewart now gets a help from the 77 car of Bobby Labonte. Mears is there, but let's see if the high line works again. But this time it is Harvick and Edwards.
Is Bobby Labonte going to leave his wingman with his teammate Tony Stewart, or is he going to try to go for the win here? We see Steen coming out of the car, out of the 77 car, tucked right up behind Tony Stewart.
And Harvick is now getting a little bit of a push from the 42 car. That's how close it is with Montoya right behind Kevin Harvick. Does he have enough time to get there? Tony Stewart with a push from Bobby Labonte. Mears is 3rd. Reagan is 4th. Here comes Labonte on the outside. They come to the trial. Well, remember the start-finish line is here.
And he gets it.
Yeah. And what a run by Bobby Labonte. What an effort by the former Cup Series champion and Busch Series champion.
Well, look, that car's overheating. What a great move. I didn't think that was really possible, that you could just pull out and pass somebody that you were pushing.
Yeah, boys.
He just laid in the weeds all day.
How about that guy?
And here he comes.
Yeah. Well, you got to get, I mean, he has so much experience, and he's been through a lot of things here. And that's exactly what this package that these Busch cars run, what it brings to the racing. You just don't see that a lot, Ed, but textbook slingshot pass right there coming to the checkered flag.